like, Tony and John. So, for those of you that haven't seen Tony and John before, otherwise known as the two SCI chefs, both of you, have spinal cord injuries yourself, and I don't know if you just wanted to, give a little bit of background as to how you had your spinal cord injuries and also just how you both met.
John?
Yeah, I'll start with that if you want, Tony. I think my spinal cord injury was 2018. After, to cut a long story short, after numerous trips to the doctor and things like that, it was in the end it was like 2 spinal tumours, which I had removed, emergency surgery in the July 2018, and then back in 2019, just living with the after effects now, really. Got cauda equina and all the other problems what sort of come with a spinal cord injury. Was just on my recovery journey, really. Needed a bit more support, so I went to back up for some mentoring, and that's where I met Tony. I had the 10 calls, what it was initially, speaking to Tony, which was really good, was paired together also because he's got a spinal cord stimulator, and we're sort of getting to the end of our calls, which will have been last year. Was sort of in the lockdown stage, and found out that Tony was a trained pastry chef as well, and I'm a chef, and I started on social media. I had like an Instagram page, and I was just popping recipes on there. At first I thought I'll try and cook a recipe every day at the beginning of lockdown, but with a spinal cord injury, I soon found out that it won't be a recipe every day, maybe a recipe every week, or depending on pain and things like that, really. And then from there, me and Tony decided to put like a page together on Facebook, which was the 2 SCI chefs. Do you want to say a bit about that, Tony?
Yeah, so okay, so I'm Tony. I injured 2013, had osteomyelitis, lost bone in L3 and L4, cauda equina. I'm fused from L1 to S1. I have a spinal stim fitted. I've got other health stuff going on, but I mean that's the main drums going on. And so yeah, so we just met via the mentoring. I was John's mentor, and we got on all right. John did all the work. I just sort of listened and gave advice and stuff, and as you do, and we just sort of hit it up really. And so we, like John said towards the end, we found we were both chefs, and thought, oh, I don't think there's anything like that around. We hadn't heard of it. I searched for it, but I didn't think about it. And so the page is all about making something easy, and like today's recipe is not that hard to do, but we always use gadgets. Like I've got gadgets today. I've used gadgets this morning to get stuff done because, normally I would have been doing everything myself, but I like to make pastry and stuff. Yeah, I've made pastry. I'm gonna make pastry like now, but it's like I've got like a little like you see it on the other thing, like a little mini, where is it? In there, little mini chopper thing. I'll do my pastry on that. So you just need to make things as easy as possible, and then you can make really nutritious food. So yeah, so that we run live every Friday, and we were doing Healthy Hump Day, so that's been moved to once a month now. We're doing afternoon teas and stuff like that. Yeah, I've got loads of ideas. Yeah, that's that.
Brilliant, thanks, Tony. I don't know if your microphone, how close you are to it. You're a little bit quiet.
Is that any better?
I think so, possibly.
Oh, no. Oh, let me just. Oh, have I got myself on mute? No. Any better?
I think also what's happening, Damien, is the other Tony McGrath, tends to be highlighted whilst Tony the chef was talking.
That is.
Oh, in fact,
that is
you have
Tony
this.
McGrath is Tony the chef, John.
I do beg your pardon. I've realised I've made something silly where I can see Tony's face and now I can see all his ingredients. I do beg your pardon, Tony.
That's all right. No worries. That's all right.
I think.
So shall I
I
start
think
getting ready?
Yeah. I think you're working on 2 cameras, Tony, aren't you?
Well, you know, we were going to go for a helmet cam, but yeah, couldn't quite work that out. So we've got a phone and a laptop. So,
Brilliant.
Yeah. Good, turn this face camera off, so then I can concentrate on this one. Is that okay?
Of course, yeah. So I'll hand it over to you guys. And
Okay. John, do you want to?
Yes. So today's cafe we're always trying to think of different things to do, and we've sort of gone down the afternoon tea theme. I'm not in the kitchen for a few weeks because I'm still recovering from my spinal cord stim surgery. So Tony's put a really nice tart recipe together. What he's going to go through now.
Cool. So we have got. Let me look at my recipe. My kitchen's like 6x4, so it's a bit awkward. Okay, so we've got 150 grams of plain flour in here. I'm going to throw in 50 grams. It says ice and sugar, but you can use any, to be fair. Granulated for the light. And then let's face it, salt is one of those things that you can have in stuff. It also is a with salted butter, so then I've just put it in my little machine there. Get the lid on. I'm not very organised today, sorry guys. So I'm gonna have to move across. That's my thing. Sorry, I've got not very many things. So just chop it in that until you have breadcrumbs. So use a food processor until you get. You see that? Oh, sorry.
yeah, that's clear.
So I will get that out. And what I normally do is, because me and John love our gadgets, I normally empty it out, put it back in, and then go through it again. Only because sometimes you get a bit of bread stuck in it, like butter or something, all clumped up. So put that in there. Do that again.
I think that's what we say, don't we, Tony? It's all about gadgets and anything to make things as easy as possible, really. A bit like when I was talking before, saying I was trying to cook a recipe every day. It's just trying to plan in advance what you're going to do. Sometimes for our live sessions on a Friday night, we'll maybe prep little bits of it, throughout the day and have like little naps and things like that. But definitely, the more gadgets, or the easier you can make something.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I use this one all the time. I use it for chopping up chocolate, coffee beans, anything. It's really good, really cheap. So about 20 quid on Amazon, I think. Lucky old good old what's his name? Jeff Bezos. So I'm going to throw in here. This is really easy. Sweet short press pastry, like 1 egg yolk and a tablespoon of ice cold water. What I do, just for an example, is if I'm making pastry, I will get everything prepped out into sort of deli cups, like this kind of thing. You see that? Sort of like that. And then I'll put everything in the fridge, the flour, the whole thing. So just mix that up. And you just hear the motor changing a little bit. And then, take the blade out. I've done that before, haven't I, John? Get it somewhere, and then, oh God, there's a big blade in there. So it might look a little bit grainy. It's not. You just need to work it together. And just come together quite easily.
Would you say that's your favourite gadget, Tony? Your mini
yeah.
chopper?
I think it's that or the Nespresso machine, coffee. Yeah, that's probably.
Definitely mine's the coffee machine.
So that is the paste. You see that? Pastry? Where are you? That's pastry. It comes together in one lump. Looks a little bit sandy. So what that needs to be done is rested in the fridge. So as Blue Peter says, here is one I've done earlier. Where is it? Where is it? Right. So these lives are funny because like we take we take time to get them done, and then it's like the utter carnage in the flat is real. Right, so this has just been in the fridge, so I would kind of get it into a round shape. Probably going to prove me wrong now and be all crumbly. It's fine. So I would get it into a rough shape. And then roll it out.
Good camera angle, that, Tony.
Is that all right? Am I all right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, perfectly. I think one thing that always surprises me, and it's like, you know, I watch Saturday Morning Kitchen or Sunday Brunch, and how, you know, the chefs that are there, they're talking and working at the same time. You know, they're explaining what they're doing, and it doesn't affect their flow. And I can't multitask. You know, just talking and breathing is hard enough. But
I've never done this kind of thing before until we've done the two chefs. So it sort of multitasking for me was like, you know, driving and talking on the phone, which Bluetooth obviously.
yeah.
But yeah, no. So this is, I'd say it's a new skill. Not really a skill, is it? But it's like,
does take a bit of getting used to, though. I mean,
yeah.
I was in a professional kitchen up to a couple of years ago, and I used to do live demonstrations for food fairs and things like that in the city centre. So I am used to it a little bit. It's just getting all your cameras right, and
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing in it, Tony, it's the prep in advance.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I like, as I say, I love these deli cups. You get them 10 for a pound in Pound World, job done. I've got loads of them. So what I say is you over roll it. So then what you can do is you just fold it in, because obviously pastry is really delicate. So you don't really want to be hacking the hell out of it. And then instead of cutting it, I always just roll the rolling pin over it, and then you can adjust it accordingly. If this is a bit of a weird angle, like you can see my face on, it's because I've got my bum cheeks actually on my perching stool, so it's a bit awkward. Sorry about that, everybody. So that is all done. Just get that off, and then stick it in a oven 200 degrees. Open the oven, turn it down to 180, and it takes about 20 minutes to cook. Let's just do that.
Can I ask, Tony, as a complete novice, because I don't bake at all,
Okay.
have you greased your tin? Do you need to grease your tin?
Sorry, I forgot to say. Right. Okay. So what you do is you get flan tins like this with a removable bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
What you do is you get a bit of greaseproof paper, and greaseproof paper can be used over and over and over again. It's one of those things that you can just, as long as you've used it for sweet, you can still use it for sweet. So what you do for that is, just show you. Right, so you get a flat bit of greaseproof. You go flat end, fold it across, then halve it, You see that? And halve
Yeah.
again. And it's almost like you're making a snowflake. Do you know when you're a kid and you used to, make the snowflakes and things like that?
Bit of origami.
Bit of origami, that's it. I couldn't think of the word there. Where are my scissors? They just appeared and left me. So then you sort of roughly do it like that, and then just tear, and then that should be, well, that will sort that out, won't it?
Excellent.
So then you don't have to. I mean, these are not non-stick. They are, but I used it this morning to make this flan case, and it's.
Nice.
Mary Berry would be very impressed because I haven't got a soggy bottom. So there you go.
Not on your
So then-
pastry anyway.
Not on the pastry. Yeah, absolutely.
This reminds me of Blue Peter, but when they used to say, "This is one I made earlier."
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I couldn't cope if I hadn't got stuff prepped, honestly. Right, so that's that. That's that bit done. Now, so that will go in the oven, 200 degrees, turn it down to 180, 25 minutes. Right, so the next bit we want to do, I can't get myself comfortable on my touching stool. That'll do. Right, so turn it off, turn that one on. So you need a little cheeky double boiler, which is, where is it? On the hob, just a saucepan full of water, and it's been boiling, so there you go. So what I need to put in this bowl is, let me get my recipe out. Basically, I've got 2 Sicilian lemons that I got from Tesco's. They're big, and you get a lot of zest in it. I've put 4 limes, 2 lemons. I'm doubling this recipe up, so I've got 2 tarts to make out of this. And then I've got 200 grams of caster sugar, or 100 grams per batch, and then 50 grams of butter per batch, and 2 eggs beaten per batch. So what you need to do is, right, so you want to put sugar and butter. Let me bring you over to the, you see that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's good.
perfect.
Cool. Okay, so sugar in the double boiler, job done. This is why it's so easy just to get everything prepped. Butter in. Right, we want to let that just relax a little bit, get a bit melty. And this is just one dump recipe. Just throw the zest in. As again, that's Sicilian lemons and 4 limes. And then here's the juice, and this is what I mean by the lemons and the limes have so much juice. That is a lot.
Oh, that's a lot of juice.
It's a lot of juice. I do prefer those lemons because you just get a lot more real estate for your money. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's like my mum in Mallorca with a lemon tree in the front garden. Sometimes she's shown before, hasn't she, the lemons on 2 chefs, and
yeah,
absolutely massive.
Totally. Your mum's on, isn't she, Joe?
Yeah, she's on, yeah.
Hey, Franny. So all we do is, obviously, Blue Peter rule's still in effect. I've got some I made earlier, obviously. So just cook this down. Just make sure everything is melted. So stick it on a high heat, let it double boil. You know, like if you're melting chocolate, if you're making a chocolate tart or something like that, just make sure. I think the one we did online, John, I think I made it in a saucepan, but I'm not that brave doing it on live like that. So.
Yeah.
I'll just let that melt down, and then what you do is you have leaf gelatin to make it jellified. I've got my 4 eggs beaten, but you need 2 eggs per batch. So you can see this is just getting really kind of nice. And how are we doing for time?
So 3:26 at the moment, so you've got just over half an hour.
Oh, easy.
Thinking as
Right.
well, Tony, it's like all our recipes for what we're doing now and on Two Chefs, we're trying to simplify everything out. So every recipe really, you can go and buy, items for it and things like that.
Totally.
Like your pastry, and you could go and
Oh,
buy
yeah.
the lemon curd and things like that if you wanted to just make it a little bit easier.
Okay. So that the butter's all melted, the sugar's in there, the zest is in there. Now, like, it sounds a bit foreign, but you need to add in your scrambled egg mix into that. I know it sounds a bit weird, but just keep going with it and keep mixing it up so it's in emulsion. So the butter, the water, sugar, zest, lemon juice, and eggs. This will take a bit of a while to come up to temperature, so we'll have a look at that for a while I warm up some curd that I made this morning. Let's just see. Oh, is that all right? Have I still got you? Yeah. I'm not sure I can. I need to get one of those proper stands, don't I, John?
What? Sorry.
I need to get one of those proper stands from the camera.
For your camera.
Yeah. So this will take about probably, you don't have to whisk it all the time, but once you've made it into a really nice consistency, you then can just leave it simmer and put a wooden spoon in it and just go back to it every so often. Make sure you haven't got scrambled egg, because this will, remember, all this lot has been chilled in the fridge, so you need cold ingredients. I know probably to make pastry, but I always like to have the ingredients cold so everything stays really fresh. So it'll take a while for that to come up to temperature, but this is some beautiful curd that I made this morning. I've been busy. Well, we've both been busy today, haven't we, John? I've been busy.
You've been busy, yeah.
Like that.
So, Tony, I know that the recipes went out before the cafe today. I can see if we can put the recipes out afterwards as well, just for those that are here that might not have seen them before. I know what we would think is maybe to have perhaps people could cook along with you, but for those that perhaps might want to try it later, if we can get the recipes up on our social media, then people can give it a go. And I know my wife, when I mentioned about this cafe, I think her immediate response was, "Oh, so I'll be cooking tonight then."
Yeah, get down to Tesco's, get some lemons and limes. You can just use lemon juice you get in a bottle. Your Jif lemons. You can use that if you want. It's
I think we've got both. I think we've got fresh lemons and limes and the Jif lemon in the fridge. So I can't even use the excuse that we haven't got the ingredients.
Oh no, you've got no excuse. Well, you could say actually to your wife, listen, you cook dinner, I'll do a dessert. I learned how to do it today. I'm going to show you what I learned. And she might be impressed with that.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I'm on leave after today, so I've got no excuse for time either.
Absolutely no excuse.
Plenty of time to do it.
Absolutely.
Do you two chefs live apart, and do you communicate through the internet and FaceTime, or are you more or less within reach of each other?
No, we're very, very well socially distanced. I'm in East Yorkshire in Hull, and you're in Worthing, aren't you, Tony?
Down the south coast.
Good distance away, yeah.
Yeah, we've not actually met in person yet. we was hoping to do that in January. We did a little bit of filming last year, and it's just to promote that you can still do things with a spinal cord injury. And we did it was like two chefs, two kitchens, and we put a little film together. And I was in my kitchen, Tony filmed in his kitchen, and we're supposed to be filming again this January, and it was going to be back to the kitchen, two chefs, one kitchen, and was going to be filming in Hull, but because of the pandemic and everything, we've had to put that on hold. So hopefully we're looking at later on this year that we're both going to actually be in a professional kitchen, and we're going to put some kind of film together just to promote really that even with a spinal cord injury, you can still cook nice, tasty food, really.
It's excellent, and you sound as though you've just become great friends, you two.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. 100%.
All through social media technology.
Yeah.
Easy.
All through
Right,
good old electronics, as I said earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I've got a full sheet of what do they call it? John,
Gelatin.
help me. That's it, gelatin. Yeah, but they come in really light, hard sheets like Perspex. If you just put them in cold water, it will melt like it'll go like a jelly, and you squeeze it out, and that's why I'm trying to warm this curd up. It's getting warm now. And because the gelatin has to, although the water will melt the gelatin, it needs to have heat for it to dissipate throughout the whole business, doesn't it?
Sorry, Tony, how many sheets are you using there?
One full sheet in here, but I always, because I use these cups, I snap them into 4 because then I've got more control of how much I can put in.
Okay.
You know, you can take like more, put more or less. I mean, I've got one ready, and that only had a full sheet in it, and that's really jellified, so that's really good. So if you have a look at this, see this it goes really kind of flimsy. It just goes like, I don't know, how do you describe it, John?
It's strange, isn't it? Really, the
It's almost
consistency.
like cling film.
Yeah. That's looking good.
I don't understand what is the purpose of this material that you've used.
It just goes here, just because the curd will set to a certain point, but because I like it to have really crisp lines on it, I like it to be a really crisp, like slice. I put a bit of gelatin in just for neatness, really, and it just makes it. I think it looks better if you've got a slice of dessert. It looks really rubbish if you've got like a slice and it's sort of like leaked out and it looks horrible. Whereas this way, it was set properly. It's just probably me. You don't have to put it in, but I just like it because it'll look a bit neater. That's how I.
And what do you call it? Gelatine?
Gelatin, yeah. You can get it in leaf form or powder form.
Okay.
So that has. Let me just turn that off.
And am I right in saying, Tony, that it's animal based? So, or have I got that wrong?
Yeah, it is. It is done through. You get gelatin from bone, don't you? Is it gelatin from bone?
Yeah.
Just be wary, if you're vegetarian or vegan.
Yeah, I am vegan. Only on Wednesday, though. Hey, John. That's our little joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my pie crust that I made, or tart crust I made earlier.
That looks real nice and crisp.
Oh, hopefully, yeah. Ask little Brenda. Is Brenda on? Oh no, she's got her physio, isn't she?
Will you be having a slice, Tony, afterwards?
Yeah, no, I like it, but it's no. Who am I lying? I'm lying. Of course I am. Right, so all you need to do is, this is really, really hot, and literally just pour it in on a level surface, scrape all the bits out. All the bits at the bottom are really good stuff. don't obviously reheat it, but don't reheat it on on maximum heat, because then it will possibly burn on you. Possibly burn. So let me put that over here.
What about
Honestly,
freezing it, Tony? It'd be all right to freeze as well, where once it's chilled.
totally. Yeah, you can totally freeze it. Let me put that over there, and then let me bring you this one. Just another little cheeky one I made earlier, and it's got a little bit of jiggle to it. See that in the middle?
Nice.
Again, same pastry, made exactly the same way. Hold on, I've got to do my lemon curd. It was yeah, a little bit of scrambled eggy, and you need to keep your eye on it. That's that. So that is that made. Let me get a plate. I apologise about all the noise.
I don't cook, but I often say to my wife when she's preparing, a long time to prepare, not so long to eat.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the way, isn't it? It's, and I always think it tastes better if someone else has done it.
Definitely. If you've been prepping it for a long time and then you eat it the same day, I think sometimes it's just nicer the next day when you haven't been, you haven't done all that prep beforehand and things like that. But definitely even better if somebody else has made it.
Yes.
Yeah. See, John, that's what the gelatin does. It just gives it, like, like on a lemon meringue pie, you have the crust and then you have the curd.
Yes.
I just like you get defined layers. This side is, but I cut it with a butter knife, so it's not that great. But you see, it's not sagging back in, so you could put some cling film over this, leave it in the fridge, and that'll probably last 3 days, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Just put cling film over it. And I always put the greaseproof underneath it, so you cut it with a greaseproof, so you're not actually getting it in contact with the bottom surface. I always do that. So this is the
That's wonderful. We need the technology where you can post it to us and get it delivered by drone.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm down for that. I am down for that. Let's just make some of it now.
That was really good.
Well, very well done. Excellent.
Hope everyone enjoyed.
How many did you make in total, Tony? 4.
I've got two ready, and I've got to bake 2 lots of. I've got 1, 2 done. I've got another lot of pastry. I'm going to use that flan tin that I've just used to pour that in. So once that's baked, I'll make another one, and then I'll use this curd to do that, really. So yeah, 4 all together. So
And they're going to be going out delivered locally, are they?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they are.
Excellent.
Yeah. So they are going out. Going to be locally. I will you can PayPal me, Venmo me, chat me, anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
We take anything, don't we, John?
Yeah. So at the minute on Two Chefs, we're putting like a recipe out, aren't we, on a Monday? We call it a lockdown recipe, which is something different every week. And I think with like trial and error, we're just trying to make things more straightforward to do. Because sometimes we have our chef head on, don't we? And I've done it before where I've maybe done a dish and it's got like 5 separate elements to a dish or 5 different dishes within a dish. We're just trying to make things a bit more easier to do, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we've also got our Friday night takeaway as well, which we're just keeping it to one simple, really nice dish to do.
Yeah, totally.
And I guess if you've got a spinal cord injury or sort of limited mobility, not having to keep going sort of backwards and forwards, you know, from the fridge to the, you know, preparation area, keeping everything simple, or, you know, using as little as possible. I'm a massive fan of, you know, like, you know, a one pot cook. If you
Yeah,
can cook it all in a
definitely.
wok, or, you know, like a deep frying pan.
Instant pot is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just like we've done before, like a stir fry, haven't we? Where everything's just, you can buy quite a lot of the stuff already, you know, prepped even if you want, and it's just all in one pan. We did that on our hump days, didn't we? On a Wednesday, and definitely like one, you know, one pot, one tray, what you can just pop in the oven, leave it all really. Just to, I think it's all about keeping it safe, simple, straightforward, and definitely the planning beforehand. Because the amount of times I've done it where you've been backwards and forwards, and then you've forgot some things in a low down cupboard, and it's just all about, definitely all about the planning and preparation.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely. I think you've got to. Like people say, like it's all right for us because we're chefs, but I mean, I haven't been in the commercial kitchen for years, and I went from being like general catering to pastry, and then I went straight out and sort of worked. But then I went out to be on the airlines and did sort of that side of it. So it's, you know, just gotta be prepped, and just make sure you've got everything ready before you start out. Like I had everything in jars, so I know like that's, just do it in order. So you know the first two go in first, and the second and third and fourth. It's yeah, it's you know, life's hard enough with a spine injury without having to fanny around with lots of recipes and stuff. Just make it easy, make it simple, make it nice, make it tasty.
I just think it's just rewarding, isn't it, getting that from like nothing to get that really nice end product, and
Yeah.
that you've actually, you know, cooked something. I just think it's really, you know, going through my spinal injury and things, like you suffer from like mental health and things like that. But I think it's really good to like zone out in a recipe, and you know, sometimes it takes me 3 or 4 times as long than it did, you know, before my injury. But I just think it's good from scratch, you know, producing that dish really.
Yeah.
And like what we're doing with two chefs, just trying to inspire others really to cook and maybe give one of the recipes a go or something like that.
I think it also gives you it boosts like your mental health and stuff. I think if you I talk about on the page, it's all like about little wins, and I think if you can make something for yourself, even if it's a cup of tea, you know, if you just, you know, come out of surgery and you're going to go and you're going home, like do something small, but it's all about the little wins rather than, you know, yeah, some of our recipes are complex, but I'm 7.5 years in. Johnny, you're 2 years in, so it's
Yeah,
good.
three this year it'll be.
I think it's brilliant how you two guys have got together and to inspire one another and to help other
Totally.
people. I think it's brilliant. You deserve an Oscar. Well, not an Oscar, an OBE.
About that.
It's brilliant.
Well, both might come after the film.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible what you have inspiring. I don't cook, but I can imagine how you could inspire other people and explain to other people how you manage by getting your kitchen lowered down and all your utensils handy. Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I think I use those cups. Also, I use things like Joseph will go to TK Maxx. I'm a TK Maxx product. Can't wait till they reopen. But I buy loads of Joseph stuff because things like measuring cups, right? You've got things like that, but I know from the color of it what it is straight away. So it's so much easier it's so much easier just color coding stuff. And I found that so much easier I'm in a tiny kitchen now, whereas my kitchen before used to be a lot bigger. So I'm in a smaller kitchen, but you know, even I lose stuff and get annoyed. So yeah, it's all about.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think we started off, didn't we? And we just expected, I don't know, we didn't expect many followers or that kind of stuff. We thought we'd maybe get 1 or 2 people watching along, and I think in the last couple of days we've got I think we've got about 400 people now, which is good. We try and, you know, we always try and cook something live once a week, but we always say, don't we, because you never know from one day to the next what you're going to be like, and with pain and everything else. We just say we'll do what we can when we can, and if we can't, we'll put like a note up or something like that. But I think us planning for this filming, I think it's just something interesting, something to look forward to. Tony's going to be coming through to Hull, and hopefully this summer or later on in the year, putting a small film together which we can share out over the internet through YouTube and things like that. We always say, don't we, we can, if it's helping that one more person, if one more person thinks, you know, I'm gonna give it a try.
Yes.
I just remember back when I was in Pinderfield Spinal Unit, and you know, it can get quite boring when you're in hospital, you know, like day to day. And I just think back, and I think if somebody had told me that there's 2 guys with spinal injuries and they're trying to like show people how to cook or, you know, do something or inspire, I think I would have definitely tuned in. Just something different, something interesting.
Yeah, Tony, I was sorry, John, I was in Pinderfield as well, 2014. But
Yeah,
from what I'm gathering from you 2 guys is it inspires you as well to keep going. It keeps you on top of the world. I have I have a similar experience in the early days of the lockdown when PPE wasn't readily available. I've got 2 3D printers, and I made 700 face shields for the community. It took 3 months. Over a 3-month period, they were collected from my house on a Tuesday and a Thursday and sent out to the community. First people to receive them were the shops that were allowed to be open. I'm going back to last year now. And then the ambulance services received them, all the nursing homes, the local hospital. This was before they were readily available. And for me, it gave me something to, I think to live for is too strong a word because I'm quite an optimistic person, but it gave me something. I was getting up at 6:30 in the morning. I've been wanting to have a wee, and I came downstairs and got the printer going so that the face shields, which took an hour and a half to print. So I was printing as many as I could, and I made 700 in total. It really inspired me to help me as well, and it kept me going. And I'm sure what you 2 guys are doing.
that's
fantastic. You've got a deadline to meet on Friday, so you think, well, I better get on with it rather than sit on my backside. I've got to get on with it.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think sometimes, you know, we do have our spinal injury. Sometimes I could say it's like a roller coaster. You never know what it's going to be like during the week, and we're both like up and down and things like that. And I think just between ourselves, we just keep each other going through messages or what we're going to be cooking next Friday. So it's, I don't know, it keeps your mind ticking over and you're thinking, what should we do next week? But is that recipe actually too complicated? Can we make it? How can we make it easier? And how are we going to explain it? Definitely keep one. We definitely keep one another going.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you'll look forward to meeting each other, I'm sure, and giving each other not a hug but an elbow touch, and
Totally.
saying hello
Yeah.
to each other. Yeah, that's going to be great. A great opportunity for you to get together face to face.
Yeah, definitely.
I just think it'll be good in the future to get together, and hopefully, I just think it'd be really good to actually meet people in person and go around and, I've done like practical cooking demonstrations before. It'd be really good to, once this COVID thing settles down a little bit, hopefully just to get out there in person and
Yeah.
do like some kind of cooking show or something.
You're going to become famous, a bit like the two bikers, the hairy bikers.
Yeah.
The two hairy chefs, that's what we'll be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's lots of opportunities out there. I think, even if you could go into the spinal units and, when you've got people there that, perhaps, need a bit of support and, I don't know, just to sort of show them what can be done. I think, it's
Definitely.
really invaluable.
I remember in the spinal unit, before you can go home, you need to be checked, don't you, by, is it tea? Make sure you can make a cup of tea and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you do home visit, don't you, with one of the physio?
Yeah.
I came home with Phil, and he had me going all up the steps and seeing if I could sit down on every chair.
Yeah, I think that was similar to me, but I think going into a spinal unit and even if it's just make something like really simple, but to actually speak to people in person would be fantastic. Definitely.
Yeah, I didn't go through a spinal unit. I went through a neurological unit, so I think I missed out by going through a spinal unit. But I think in one way, my situation was different. But I think it would have been better if I had gone through a spinal unit. But I think because I had no. I mean, I reached out to back up pretty soon after I came out, and they were amazing because I had a mentor, and that's why I did what I did. But I think you just got to do what you can, can't you?
Definitely.
I think also as well, just through lockdown, I think all of us have had more time on our hands than we would have had before, and it can be very easy just to put a microwave meal, in the microwave and job done. But to be able to sort of prepare your food, cook your food, there's a lot of evidence out there to show, if you have got neurogenic pain, that the more distracted you are, it sort of can push that pain a bit into the background. Plus, you've got the satisfaction that you've actually, made something yourself. I think I'd feel quite confident, but seeing what you've made today, I think, well, yeah, actually, I could do that. I'll give that a go.
You could. Anyone, you can all do it. It's possible. Let me just quickly show you. That's the curd that I've just. You see, it's just thickened up slightly. So just coats the back of the spoon, so that will set nicely. So yeah, let me go back to my face. Where is it? So yeah,
Brilliant.
you can do it.
Yeah. So coming up, I think on the 2nd of June, I think we've got you booked in for the fish and chip supper.
Yes. Yeah. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We've been getting some recipes together, haven't we, Tony? So that'll be really good.
Totally. I'll be doing the vegan route, and John will be doing the non-vegan route.
Definitely.
2nd of June.
2nd of June, yeah.
Yes, Wednesday. What time is that, Damien, going to be?
Usual time, John, 3 o'clock.
Okay.
You never know. We might be in the same kitchen.
Yes.
That'd be good. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because there's